Doing? Quarantine treating you okay? I know it sucks. Apparently it sucks more for people in Michigan and Minnesota and Kentucky than the rest of us, but we'll get back to that. Firstly, let's catch up with your boy Joe Biden. Last week, April the 14th, his former boss Barack Obama endorsed him in a nice 12-minute video to reassure progressives and skeptical Democrats of Joe's electability and poising him as the man to beat Donald Trump. And I called it right after this. A day later, Elizabeth Warren finally put her endorsement out there. At this point, since the former president and de facto head of the party endorsed him, it's only good politics to do the same. But I also, at the time when this happened, called that it wouldn't be a glowing 12-minute video. It was a quick, short 3 minutes, to the point, get Joe to beat Trump. Because at this point, it's all about let's come together so we can beat the big bad orange. That's the general thought process in the Democratic Party. So, there's really nothing else to say about that, probably for a couple of months. With coronavirus going on. The Democratic National Convention isn't going to be till August, but it's formality, as I've said before, because Joe will be the nominee. So, let's wait for that. A jammed up printer versus a dial internet tone debate or something. I don't know, I read that meme on Facebook. That was funny. Watched it here. Speaking of President Donald, he recently said how he has absolute authority. And he was asked this like 3 times by a reporter. Are you saying your authority is absolute to open the country? And he kept saying, yeah, it's absolute. As usual. I don't think he probably meant it as he's a dictator, but he flirts with dangerous language about being an absolute or being able to do whatever he wants. I think there's an entire impeachment scandal that shows that he can't do whatever he wants, but he does what he wants, or says what he wants. He definitely thinks what he wants. The thing is, he has now suspended all immigration to the United States. So now that final 1/3 of the world that was allowed to come here, not coming. And this is, interestingly enough, though, not about slowing down the spread of the virus. It's actually an economic thing. According to his press secretary, decades of record immigration have produced lower wages and higher unemployment for our citizens, especially the African American and Latino workers. At a time when Americans are looking to back to work, action is necessary. So, so it's about helping out Black and Hispanic workers, apparently. Which, quick side note, Mexico only has 9,000 cases compared to our 787,000 cases and 42,000 deaths. So Mexico's probably like, yeah, whatever, dude. Close the border. I don't care. We have now surpassed Italy as the highest cases in the world. Talking about appealing, though, to Black and minority voters, Trump administration ramped it up because they're obviously doing so well with that demographic. Attorney General Jerome Adams was giving a press conference and I guess was instructed to appeal directly to Black and Hispanic people. Let's take a look.
Avoid alcohol, tobacco, and drugs. And call your friends and family. Check in on your mother. She wants to hear from you right now. And speaking of mothers, we need you to do this, if not for yourself, then for your abuela. Do it for your granddaddy. Do it for your big mama. Do it for your pop-pop. We need you to understand, especially in communities of color, we need you to step up and help stop the spread so that we can protect those who are most vulnerable.
Your big mamas, your abuelos, your pop-pops. It's like he started to say something and there was a press secretary or somebody who's like, Jerome, I need it blacker. No, not black enough. I need it blacker. Big mama. Say things like that. Like however you people talk. Make it blacker, Jerome. You're one of 2 Black guys in this administration. And nobody's looking to Ben Carson for these kinds of things. So I need you, Jerome. I need you. He also then was asking African Americans and other minorities to stop smoking marijuana and tobacco and using alcohol. Like, everybody isn't doing that in quarantine. I mean, there's nothing to do but get high, get drunk, and eat a lot. I don't know. The whole thing came across as very tone deaf, weird. And I know technically, as a white guy talking about a black guy addressing black and minority people, I shouldn't really have much of a right to say that. But as a white guy talking about a black guy addressing a bunch of minority people, it did not sound natural at all. But I don't know. I guess it's funny. I don't know. Nothing's really funny. I'm just trying to make everything funny. Life's a joke at this point. I'm working on my quarantine mustache. See that? I'm trying to get my Dustin Hoffman on. Oh wait, don't do that, people. You shouldn't be touching your face. Minnesota and Michigan have started protesting to liberate the states. Now, by liberate and by protest, that means descending on state capitals with masks and guns, and in some cases assault rifles, demanding that it be open. And then if you look in the background, a lot of people have signs that saying they need haircuts or, they need their teeth cleaned, because that's essential. And I'm curious with the guns. I mean, I'm assuming it's just a show of force, but what are you shooting? Because you're not killing the virus, and I guarantee you, if you shoot anybody on the state capitol, there's going to be a problem. Which, on a side note there, if anybody says there's no privilege, there's no sort of white privilege at all, just look at that picture one more time. Because I promise you that if that was a group of Hispanic, Black, Muslim, shit, even Chinese, this story would be going a whole different way. Descending upon the Capitol with rifles during a stay-at-home order to demand something stupid, frankly. President isn't really helping this because he keeps tweeting, liberate Minnesota, liberate Michigan. So I would think that at this point he would use his absolute authority to, shut that down. Because, this isn't tyranny for tyranny's sake. I'm all about fuck the government. I think the government's stupid. I understand it's a necessary evil, but this isn't really like a case of them just trying to tell you what to do. I mean, Kentucky, during one of these cases, had a spike in coronavirus cases to 270 because of this protest. So obviously you need to stay your ass at home. Okay? Grow your hair out a little bit. Chill. You entitled people. And lastly, speaking of entitled, privileged, just ridiculous people, rapper Lil Xan, Xan being short for Xanax, was recently hospitalized due to a coronavirus quarantine-induced panic attack. Now, if you look up his net worth, he's worth $3 million. So this kid who, I don't know, I couldn't tell the difference between him and Billie Eilish other than the face tat. This kid who named himself after a benzo to chill you out, stuck in probably a nice home because he's worth a good amount of money with his mother. And guess where he was? He's in Corona, California. Has a panic attack so bad that he goes to the hospital. Now, for one, I have been at my breaking point multiple times. At least 4 times today. But I also have a 1.5-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I'm not rich, so there's only so much I can do in quarantine. And on top of that, he went to a hospital, so you might as well be walking into a petri dish for this. Anyway, that's what I got for you today. So, be cool, America.